Hi everybody, it's Carrie and welcome back to another video. If you guys don't know me, my name is Carrie and I run Traveling Pony Studios, which is a small crochet business I started last year. This business is basically something that I created to help pay for my horses' never-ending medical expenses. Girl, still to this day, I'm having to pay for them. I make all types of YouTube content, and that can be everything from videos like this one, which is going to be a what I crocheted in a week video alongside my normal little vlogs. I have a market coming up soon. By the time you guys see this video, I think I might have already gone to the market. I'm not certain. I got a little bit behind on recording and editing, but I do all types of fun stuff on here, and I'm hoping soon to have some free tutorials of some patterns for you guys. I am starting to kind of write a few more patterns as I'm kind of getting more time. And then of course also with my stores. So this week's video is going to be basically what I crocheted in the past week. If you guys have been around for a little bit, then you know the drill. This is definitely not everything I crocheted. This is just everything that I have finished. An example is right here. This little basket is filled with like 5 different dragons. I just haven't had the time to sew and like completely finish them off, but I did crochet it this week. Over there on my desk, to give you a brief overview, I've got 2 Pegasus, 2 seals, another cow, and then I have shark and a few other random things, same thing. Just need the finishing touches, haven't had the time. So definitely not everything that I've crocheted, but everything I have completely finished is what we'll say. I have a lot of patterns to go through. There are, I think, 1 new pattern, I believe, so let's go ahead and jump into it. This is just a little bit of what we are looking like right now. So the first thing I'll get started off with is I have this duck, and I know what you guys are thinking, just the duck. The tube is still being finished off, but I do have one of the ducks. I had one of these ducks already done for my previous market, so I just decided one more. And then I also made the mallard version. I actually had this mallard version when I originally was doing this pattern, but I guess I sold it at some point and just like never remade it because of course having to do the color changes, it does take a little bit more time, but I went ahead, made a mallard version just because I had the time. I wanted to make another one in this color, so I don't have a cream duck this time, but I do have 2 of the yellow ducks and then a mallard. I have 1 of my cherry blossom cows, and this is of course from my own pattern. So I just needed 1 more to get back up to 2 for this market. I always try and have 2 variations of my cows. Then I have 1 of the flower crown cows. This is actually just the cow that I need to finish off over there. I just haven't had time necessarily to make all the flowers. So technically at the end of the day, I will have my 2, but right now I have 1, and then I also had 1 that I made for a store. I have 1 of these little bunnies. This is a no-sew bunny. I originally did the pattern test for this. I think, I feel like it would have been maybe last month, but then I went ahead and remade one of these bunnies in this purple color. Bunnies for me kind of are hit or miss on selling. I did have a bunny pattern that I used to do a lot, and the problem was it requires so much stinking sewing, like arms, the ears, the head to the body. It was way too much. And this is actually completely no sew. It doesn't take too long to make. So I went ahead and made a purple one, so I'll have purple and then gray. There's a possibility I might try and squeeze 1 more of these in before my market. That's in 5 days. I have a crocodile. This crocodile I already have 1 of. I try and have, of course, you guys know, even numbers with most of my products, so I just decided to make 1 more to have 2. I have so far since doing this pattern have sold 1 each market. It's not the cutest thing, at least not to me, but it does seem to sell well. I think especially when you have little boys, it's definitely pretty popular. I have 1 of the no-sew hammerheads that I have. I already have a gray one. I think this past market I sold this navy color one, so I went ahead and made another, and of course this one is no-sew as well. It really just comes down to your tension and how well you can keep it consistent. I have this shark alongside another shark. The other shark requires a lot of sewing, I had a hammerhead shark that I had done before that was a little bit different and a little smaller, but required so much sewing. So I was very happy to find this one so I can still keep it fairly affordable, even though it is a larger size item. I don't charge as much as I would if I had a lot of sewing. The other one that actually was smaller than this but required a ton of sewing, I sold for much more. This is just a nice affordable version of this plushie, and also it's a larger item that's still within a good price range for people. This is a new pattern that I will be trying. I have these two kind of like chunky pigs, I guess you could say. I did one with kind of a brown tannish nose and then one with a hot pink. I do have two pigs that I normally bring. They just haven't really sold well for me in a long time, so I wanted to venture out and try new pigs. They will have to be more than my other pigs, of course, because they are a little bit of a larger size item. I kind of would say they're comparable to loaf cats. I've not taken these to markets before. I've not taken them to stores. I have absolutely no idea how they'll sell, but I definitely will update you guys once I actually take them to a market. I was able to go ahead and finish one of these little purple dragons. Like I said, I still have 5 more of these dragons to finish, and I did have one dragon that is left over from my other market that's orange, so I went ahead and made this purple variation because I did this last time. And then the other colors are a lot more of the greens and blues, and they all have yellow wings. This was the only one that was kind of like this purple variation, and I've been trying to use my extra yarn that's beneath that back there, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna knock this little cutie out and then I'll finish all the other dragons later. Right here I have 4 of these baby aliens that are actually done. I have 2 more that still need to be completely finished off. So in total, I will be back to 6. I don't really sell many of these at markets per se, but they have been fairly popular in the stores I've been in, which has been very surprising to me. But I know that even if these don't sell at my market, they will most definitely be going to stores because they just move well at stores. I don't really get it. They don't move well for me at markets, but you know, you never know. Whatever floats the boat. But I do have 4, 6 in total. 2 still need to be just kind of finished off. I have 3 of my blue and green variation of my turtles. I'm basically going to be playing catch up with turtles, as you can tell, and just some other small items to get back up. So I think I had like 3 left over, so I went ahead and made 3 more in this color. I've said this before, I basically am only doing 4 turtle colors, so this color can be iffy. It actually sells better than my green color typically, which is kind of surprising to me. I kind of like this color the most because I am a blue person, but I do have these 3 and that gets me back up to 6. And then speaking of the green variation, I have these 2, and like I said, this color can be really hit or miss. Sometimes I sell a ton of them. Other times I don't move this color very often. I do find it is a pretty nice color because it's more of a neutral tone. There's nothing that stands out too crazy, and if you really like green and kind of what I would consider maybe alongside a normal turtle, this is kind of more your deal. The last of the turtle colors that I have to show you guys are 3 more of these pink turtles. I feel like I have made so many pink turtles over the last month that I'm kind of sick of them at this point. Even when I was making them and working with the person who helps me with sewing, we both were like, I swear I just sewed up and made like 10 of these turtles the other day. It's true. I think in the last 3 weeks, I have probably made about 40 turtles, which is honestly crazy. I don't understand. But shockingly, this pink color is actually pretty consistently one of the best sellers between stores and markets. This is the color that I tend to sell the most. Purple tends to be the least. I have 2 of my blue squids. Of course, I feel like every single video I have to have some type of squid. Blue squids, purple squids, and light blue squids are the colors that I have at stores. These blue colors tend to sell out the best no matter what, and they sell best at my market if I sell any. I don't really sell squids at markets. They sell really good at stores, which I don't know what that's about, but this kind of royal blue color is probably my best selling color, purple being my worst. And would you look at that, guys, I actually found another pink turtle. So technically 4 pink turtles to get me back up to 6. This one was just hiding away. I have a single fuzzy bee. So actually I have basically 5 more days until my next market, and I have on my list only like 3 more key things that I want to make. That being 4 of these little bees, and then I'm also finishing up the dragons today. And then besides that, I only have one more loaf cat color that I need to make, and that's only one, so I'm doing pretty good. But these bees, if you guys are ever interested in working with this yarn, I will give a fair warning. It is not an easy yarn to work with. I actually find that if you do not like Chanel yarn and you do not like yarns maybe like Sweet Snuggles, don't work with this yarn. It will fray and split on you so much. Very slick. So if you're somebody who maybe likes to crochet with like a looser tension and like kind of like that holy look, I definitely would recommend not working with this yarn. Even for me, it is a pain. That's one of the reasons why I have put off making any more of these bees, especially since it's a small item and I usually try and knock that out really quick. They are just very frustrating to work with, and I can consistently say that like most of the people I've talked to that have worked with this yarn agree. So I think if you're maybe wanting this kind of like fuzzy textured look but don't want to work with the wool, not to mention it is much more expensive yarn to work with, then I would maybe look at something like a Premier Parfait Chunky, like the Little Bunny or something. That yarn is definitely easier to work with. It's just a little bit different of a texture, but definitely not as many headaches as this yarn. I have 5 of these mallards, and so this essentially is just putting me back up to, I think I ended up making 8 of the chicks, mallards, and roosters for this market. Mallards and roosters tend to be the best selling of the 3, but sometimes I go to a market and chicks sell really well, so it's just catch-22 with those guys. But I did make 5 so I could get back to up to 8. I have 5 of these little stingrays. The thing with these stingrays is it's really hard. I don't sell them very regularly, like I'll sell an occasional 1 or 2. I find it to be very similar to like the pop-up mushrooms. Like it just really depends. They don't really sell well at any of the stores they're in. I think they're cute. I think one of the main reasons I continue to make them and at least have them around is they are one of my cheaper options. And so I think for me, just making sure I have variety, having some $12 options is better than like nothing. So I do continue to make them, but fair warning, they are not a great seller if I'm being honest. And talking about my cheaper items, I have 6 of these possums, so I believe this will put me at 10 possums for this market, which seems like a decent enough number because I know that once I'm through this market, I do know some stores need some possums, but I did go ahead and make 6 this week. I do believe it will be 10 in total, and this is another $12 item for me. Let me know if you guys are interested in maybe once I'm through my November market next month, hearing a recap of some of my best-selling items for markets, and I might even be able to do something for stores. I think I have kind of a lot of the items written down to some degree. Every store is different how they like organize and manage everything. Let me know if you guys are interested, and I'll kind of give you an overview because I definitely have patterns that sell consistently better than others. And my only Halloween item that I'm bringing this market are my little black witch cats. So I went ahead and I made 6 of them. The big thing is there are 2 stores that I do not have these witch cats at. I only have them at 1 store. Oh no, actually 3 stores that I don't have them at. So I'm fairly consistent that even if they don't sell at this market, they can go live at those stores because it's still early enough in the month. It would be October 5th. We still have 25 days until the end of October, so I'm not too worried. I did go ahead and I did make these little guys. If you're interested, the base pattern is the itty bitty pattern, I believe, from Crochet with a Bay. Don't quote me on that. And then I just freehanded these little hats. I think they're super cute. And this is my only Halloween item that I am bringing. I've mentioned this so many times before. I do not like to make a lot of seasonal items unless they are just like kind of a little bit more on the broad general side, because I am still stuck with a lot of seasonal items from last year, and I know people say, oh, put it out. They don't sell. And I hate putting out items every single market if they're not selling, because then they just get dirty, and Christmas items and Halloween tend to have a lot of white. And it's just not a good that's just not a good idea to constantly bring them to every single market, have people touch them, and then nobody wants them. These witch cats are the only Halloween exclusive item I'm making. Unless they just are like really popular and people want them after Halloween, I will not continue to make them after Halloween, but I do have these guys. So everybody, that's everything that I have finished over this past week. Of course, like I said, there are still so many more items that just need to be finished off or just need like me to actually make like a couple more pieces for them to be done. But these are all the finished ones. So I have been working super hard, as you guys can tell, working on restocking items, of course. And I definitely will be having to make some of these items again because I have been hoarding my stuff and I haven't done a drop at some of the stores for 2 weeks. So I have a feeling that after this market this Saturday, I will be losing a lot of my inventory again. It does break my heart, but that is not a bad thing. It just means that I'm gonna memorize the patterns even more than I have already have. So I have lots of fun things coming up, guys. By the time you guys see this, I'm hoping I'll probably have this pattern done. I am working on another cow pattern, but a completely different style, and then I'm hoping to also try and make a few free patterns for you guys for just some small items. Don't quote me on that. It's about to get hectic for me, so I can't really promise anything, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, make sure to leave a comment and subscribe if you have not already, because I always make these videos and I look forward to reading your comments. And if you have any markets coming up, I wish you guys best of luck, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!